We were cordially invited to the Kegley Preservation Awards put on by the Roanoke Preservation Foundation. We sat down with Whitney Philman, who is on the board of the Kegley Preservation Awards.
We present awards for historic preservation, and this year one of our very favorite awards is going to be presented to Ken Conklin for his book on Norvel Lee, a forgotten hero. And I have been reading the book. It is fascinating and so deserved. Norvel Lee grew up near Eagle Rock in a very humble family, and but very supportive. Norvel Lee is a forgotten hero. He grew up in Botetourt County. He was an African American, and he rose to prominence first in Second World War when he was a member of the Tuskegee Airmen. He also started boxing in World War II, and he was a strong, big fellow and became an outstanding boxer. And his first Olympics were the 1948 Olympics. And he was an alternate there, so he didn't actually participate. But in his travels back and forth between Eagle Rock and Washington, D.C., where he was also a college student at Howard University, and boxing whenever he could, he was arrested on the train when he was sitting in the whites-only section. He refused to move, and he took his case all the way to the Virginia Supreme Court, where the court was 7 years before Rosa Parks. Pretty amazing accomplishment for civil rights in that era. Next, he continued to box, won quite a few championships, Golden Gloves. He went to the Olympics in Helsinki in 1952, and he won his weight championship and received the most outstanding boxer in the Olympics. He received the gold medal, and he was the first African American Virginian to win the Olympics.
Hey.
All right. Hey, Whitney.
Hi, this is the other Whitney.
Yeah, we're both Whitney.
And we're both at the Roanoke Valley Preservation Foundation. And tonight we're just setting up our food trays for our reception.
Yes, we're expecting about 90 guests. Even though it's a rainy, cold night, we're expecting them.
Yeah, we're hoping. And then behind, we've got Megan Isaac and also Lindsay Krantz Alley. They're also very active members on the board, and they're helping do the charcuterie. We're setting it up kind of last minute, a little bit of busyness.
The Preservation Foundation really has been around since about early 90s, 1990s, and active board, very much a volunteer organization. It really thrives on the volunteers, and George Kegley, who was an icon of Roanoke history, passed away this past winter, and he was the steady influence that kept us all in line for so many years. And he was the one that really was the instigator of these awards. And we have named the awards for him, Kegley Preservation Awards. And also, he was the chairman of that committee for way over 20 years, as well as the Endangered Sites Committee. Tonight is our 2022 Kegley Preservation Awards event. And we do this annually, and we have more awards this year than I think we've ever had.
Yeah,
with an emphasis on African American Black history that has been forgotten largely in this area. So many of those awards will emphasize that and bring that to light, such as Ken Conklin's book on Norvel Lee. That's a good example.
Yeah, that is a good example.
Yeah, he was largely a forgotten hero in Botetourt County. And there was an editorial and also a big write-up in the Roanoke Times about Norvel Lee prior to his having a road marker. They're trying to bring to light history of a community that was forgotten or not remembered.
Or purposefully not remembered.
And really, Brenda Hale said, we need to do that as a way to heal.
Okay, well, we're here tonight to celebrate not only the opening of Fire Station Number 1, which has been a huge endeavor taken on by old school partners, including Dale here. Dale Wilkinson is one of the partners. And we'll also be recognizing the Renovation of Liberty Trust along with 10 other awards, including Ken Conklin for the Norvel Lee book. But is,
Great.
Are you from Botetourt County? Have you seen the highway marker?
I have.
Okay,
I've spent 35 years there, so I'm not quite a native yet.
Okay, well, good
different.
enough. If you know about Norvel Lee, then that counts. So he's going to be honored tonight.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, and this is the 2022 Preservation Foundation annual meeting and awards reception, which we do every year. They're named after George Kegley, who was one of our founding members and head of the awards committee for years. And he passed away last January, but we actually named the awards for him back in 2019. So he warranted that without having passed away.
Yes.
Anyway,
Allison has done such a great job. She has for all the Roanoke Valley in protecting these old buildings, keeping them for the next people to enjoy. And Allison has played such a key role in this project. It's taken 5 years of our life up, right?
Yeah, definitely.
This has
it was
been
2017 when it started.
This has been an interesting ride, but taken a lot of time, but we're here. We made it.
We are.
We found the end.
And it's worth doing
It
because
is.
now it takes this old building that had, lost its original use, and we've got a new use in it. And I think everybody I've heard that's come by here is just amazed at how great texture looks in here and what a great job y'all done with the fire station.
How did you guys get involved with the firehouse? Were you part of the Roanoke Preservation Foundation?
I guess I wear two hats. So I am both involved with the Roanoke Valley Preservation Foundation, but then also I'm an architectural historian and I work for Hill Studio. And David Hill, which is an architecture firm, architecture planning, preservation, and he's a partner with Old School Partners, which includes Dale, David Hill, Greg Rhodes, and David Spiegel. And so the city had this up for sale and had several proposals that just didn't really hit what they were looking for. And then Old School Partners came along, and part of what I think appealed to the city was that they were willing to put a preservation easement on it, which is very unusual. There's only a few preservation buildings with preservation easements on them in this area. And what that does is it protects this building forever. Wow. So that's the only tool out there that really can protect a building forever.
Ask us if we'll ever do that again. No.
There must have been a lot of paperwork involved.
It is.
Allison had a few hours in this, yes, I'd say so.
And the city attorney.
That's true, yes.
Anyway.
They're always fun.
Yeah. It takes it all. It goes beyond preservation to a whole legal level, but it's well worth doing.
Tell us a little bit about how did Ken Conklin's name come up for an award that he's going to be receiving?
I think I saw the article in the paper about the dedication of the highway marker, and so that immediately piqued our interest. We keep our eye out throughout the year for things that we think are going to merit awards when the time comes around each fall when we give these awards. So we were, and we work with Nelson Harris on a lot of other projects. He's received a lot of awards. So he was the one that really said, you know, Ken's the one that deserves it, and we learned more about the book that he'd written, and just realized it was a whole lot more than just the highway marker. It's the book, it's the renaming of the highway, and just letting people, you know, it's an untold story that's remarkable and is so important to tell. So.
Heritage Education Award for Norvel, an American Hero. Ken F. Conklin's biography, Norvel, an American Hero, introduces us to one of Botetourt County's most famous native sons, Norvel Lee. Born near Eagle Rock, Virginia in 1924, during World War II, Lee was a member of the Tuskegee Airmen. After the war, he became an Olympic boxer, winning the gold medal in 1952 in Helsinki, Finland, becoming the first Black Virginian to win Olympic gold. Norvel is also known for taking a stand against segregation. While traveling home by train from the 1948 Olympics, he was asked to give up his seat in the white section. And when he refused, he was arrested. Mr. Lee appealed his case, and in 1949, the Virginia Supreme Court ruled in Lee's favor in what became a landmark civil rights case, 7 years before Rosa Parks. As a result of Conklin's research, a state historic road marker dedicated to the legacy of Norvel Lee was unveiled on September 17, 2022, near Eagle Rock. According to Nelson Harris, Conklin enthusiastically supplied the needed information for the state application. Conklin's advocacy of Lee's story, along with the efforts of Delegate Terry Austin, resulted in Botetourt County getting a portion of U.S. Route 220 near Eagle Rock named in honor of Lee. Botetourt Supervisor Steve Clinton said at the marker dedication, "We're about a half a century late in doing this, but today we carry on the essential process of recognizing Mr. Lee as Botetourt's most famous son." Ken Conklin brought this story to light with his book and his extensive research, and through his persistence, the county became aware of Norvel Lee, a hometown hero. So, Ken, if you can come forward.
Well, thank you. I'm so grateful to the Roanoke Valley Preservation Foundation for recognizing this work and with this award. And I want to thank all of you for coming out on such a rainy, stormy evening to see it all. And it's truly a personal honor to receive an award that is named for George Kegley. He reviewed my book in February of 2021 in a Roanoke Times article. I had several phone conversations with him at the time, and now to receive an award named in his honor is very special. But that's just the way the journey Norvel Lee sent me on has gone. It's been filled with unexpected but exhilarating twists and turns. From meeting his descendants and people who knew him, to poring over archival documents at the Botetourt County Schools, the C&O Railroad Archives in Clifton Forge, Howard University, the Library of Congress, and other sources. And then there were the book talks, the book clubs, media articles, and interviews, a highway designation, and now the historical marker, as we just discussed here, and honoring Norvel Lee's remarkable accomplishments. And now this. I didn't make this journey on my own. In lockstep with me from the beginning has been my wife, Barbara. And I don't know if Norvel Lee's family would have been as forthcoming as they were without her connecting with them from the beginning. This story would not have happened without the 100% support I received from Norvel Lee's grandchildren, nephew, sister-in-law, and other family members. Several of them came down for the historical marker unveiling. I'm grateful to my own family members for the love and support they gave me along the way, including my daughter Dale, who came up from Charlotte to be here tonight. There are so many people to acknowledge. First, the early readers of drafts of the manuscript were provided supportive critique. And I can't say enough about the Botetourt County Historical Society and the History Museum of Western Virginia, who supported the effort in the beginning and continue to do so to this day. And the independent bookstores that carry the book off the shelf, including Roanoke's very own Book No Further. Then there's Dwayne Yancey, now executive editor of the Cardinal News. It was Dwayne, when he was at the Roanoke Times, who penned the editorial suggesting Norvel Lee deserved a historical marker. Then Reverend Nelson Harris, I know he's here, who championed the historical marker approval process with the Department of Historical Resources. Steve Clinton, and other Botetourt County supervisors who worked with Delegate Terry Austin for the highway designation and historical marker. I and the Lee family are grateful for Gary LaRue, Botetourt County Administrator, and his team and the local media who made the marker unveiling such a success. Thank you.
Thank you to the Roanoke Valley Preservation Society for their hospitality, and for Ken and Barbara for bringing such a wonderful story to light.